Oh, there we go.
My,
Okay.
my man done turned into Paul Pierce on me.
Oh, listen. Who's having more fun than me and Paul Pierce right now?
Nobody. And I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that.
Listen, here, listen, I-64 Network, you can be yourself, Paul Pierce. You always
Um,
welcome to come here. You always
by,
welcome to come here. Come
by
here.
all means, Paul. I'm so happy for you. I really just want the backstory.
That's
I want to know, is that a regular night at Paul Pierce's house?
I think so, Paul Pierce. Did you notice how he switched the shirt? He had a
Yeah, I
regular
noticed
shirt.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like he got a little comfortable, or he had some events. I don't know what was going on, but Paul Pierce definitely had the most fun this past week, and don't care,
Don't care.
and used that PTO.
Facts. Paul Pierce, like, fuck it. I'm going out. Might as well go out with a bang.
You might as well. I'm not mad at him at all.
Because people were saying that he might was getting fired anyway. So I don't know if that's true, but
It seems like I don't know if it's ESPN or the public had something out for Paul Pierce anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? Even the analysts, even his colleagues, you know what I'm saying, on set, it seemed like every time he said something, somebody had an issue with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like you and I have said millions of times, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we're at a point now where we got to create our own platforms and give our own content, because they ain't gonna do nothing but steal it anyway. Platforms and give our own content, because they ain't gonna do nothing but steal it anyway.
Well, I think Paul Pierce faces the same thing Isaiah does. Like when Isaiah talk about Mike, people really take it with a grain of salt because like they've been so adversaries for like their whole career. So it's like, damn, anything like even if you might think the same thing, it's like man, that nigga hating. Like it's some hating that shit. So like Paul Pierce, his problem is LeBron. Like LeBron has been his opponent his whole career. The media, 99% of the media is on LeBron's side, regardless of how anybody feels. Like it is what it is. Like he's the guy. So Paul Pierce he's been against him. So now it's like, yeah, you number one. You enemy number one. But LeBron faced it like when he was with Steph Curry, when it was him versus Steph Curry. LeBron was probably enemy number one because that's when Steph was coming up. So I think that's what a lot of Paul Pierce is like, that Meek and Drake situation. Like once Meek became Drake enemy, that was it. Like now Meek can't do shit right. Like Meek say anything, motherfuckers be ready to like, hey yo, shut the fuck up. Like motherfuckers ready to cancel. But yeah, man, beautiful weekend, matches my spring break mood. We chilling. So
facts. Shout out to Mid and Norfolk. Shout out to Mary. You know what I'm saying? I had to rep. We ain't the city boys for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So I had to, sorry I don't got the suit and tie on today. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying my vacation.
I don't know. You can see my little shirt. I'm fresh out of the gym. I got the I-64 shirt.
Okay, I-64 in the building.
Yeah, fresh out of the gym. So it's all good. So man, what we lots been going on since we last had our segment.
We'll get into the tournament, but before we get into the tournament, man, also in college hoops, man, I gotta take my hat off to Roy Williams, man, with a wonderful career. You know what I'm saying, both at Kansas and UNC. I'm by no means a UNC fan, by no means a UNC supporter, but I still tip my hat when it's due, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a great coach, man.
Facts. My guy Roy, wonderful career, 3 national titles.
3 of them boys.
More than Coach K during his time at UNC. So that's a shot at y'all Duke boy.
That's
cute. You can add it up.
Listen. I'm gonna give him hella credit though, because he got one with Sean Maynem. Ooh, that was hard to watch.
What? Not 05. Not 05.
05 was hard. The 05 team was hard. 05. The Psycho team was hard.
No, the Psycho 09. Yeah. We were 09 teams top 5 college basketball history. We beat everybody by like 12 points. So you can't. Oh no, y'all down that shit when y'all beat Butler. What was that? 2010.
What is that? It was a quality win.
That shit was ugly. And
my man John Shire got the tournament.
John fucking Shire.
Shout out to John Shire, man, with a tournament MVP trophy in your house, boy.
All right, let's be real. What other year would Duke have won a championship with that fucking team? With that team right there?
This year?
No,
well, no, not if we had to play baseball.
So exactly. We had to play boys from the hood. I had to play boys from the hood.
Thanks.
But yeah, so it's the Hubert Davis era. I know, like, just on the Carolina message board, it was people weren't too excited about it. Like, I don't really think it was a race thing. It was like I think they were just ready to go in a new direction. You know, and Hubert Davis, of course, being the lead assistant of Roy's staff, people like, man, it's just gonna be the same thing. I kind of felt that way too. Like when they first announced it, what was that? Friday? No, it
Mm-hmm.
was Monday. Monday, because it was right. It was the day of the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
So when they announced it, I was like the same way. I was like, man, same old, keep it in the family thing. But Huber had a press conference yesterday, and he talked about what he was going to change the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had been playing outdated, which watch Carolina basketball. You already know we run motion offense. We play like a youth team, like a kid team. Motion offense, two bigs, two guards, one wing. We would have got stomped by Baylor. Like we don't match up with any modern team. So I love hearing Hubert, say stuff like that. That kind of won me over, at least for right now, till we see what he do recruiting wise. My dad, he's the biggest Roy Williams hater / Carolina fan. Like this is crazy. You would think he was a Duke fan as bad as he talked about Roy Williams. So he was
It's
like
like me and LeBron on the Lakers.
facts, right?
Okay.
Facts. So he don't he gives it man no credit. Like they win or they were supposed to win. They got the best team. Blah 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 blah. They lose. He need to go. He need to retire. Like so he was soon as the announcement came. What was that Friday? He was like, "Thank." I'm like that. Like, bruh, you supposed to be a Carolina fan. Like Roy bought us 3 rings.
He did.
Regardless
More
how
than
you
Coach
feel
K
about it.
during his tenure.
Yeah, but I like me personally. I think it's just the beginning. Like a lot of them coaches just whether it's from COVID or like Roy said, just the way the game is going now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just getting
It's
tired
totally
of it.
changing.
Yeah,
I told
it's
people,
different.
I told people 5 and 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying, the college game as we know it is going to change because the high school game as we know it, and you're much more tenured to speak on this than I am, Jamal, but in 15, 20, the high school game, even if it still exists, is going to be obsolete. You know what I'm saying? Because of AAU sports. So that in itself is going to change the nature of the fabric of the college game. So by all means, absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? If it's like I had a boss quit one time because we were moving into the technology age and she wanted to do everything with pens and papers and what's those things, abacuses and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And she just couldn't take the change in technology. And that was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That was about 10 years ago.
Right.
So what was Roy? 73?
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, he's up
That
there.
old shit is moving out. You know what I'm saying? And if it's like if you're not with it, then you gotta go. Now you said something that was striking to me. Is the motion offense outdated? Because that's what I run. Shit.
But what do you coach?
9 through 11-year-olds.
Exactly. You run what you're supposed to run at the age. See, at that age, same age I coach, 9 and 10. You're not really supposed to have a lot of plays for those kids. You're supposed to be teaching them how to move within the offense, like find spots in the defense. You don't, because like I tell people, it would be easy for me coaching 9 and 10 to run the same thing I run with my middle school and my high school kids. At the end of the day, if my kids can master that, they're gonna beat other kids because they're running something that other kids don't see.
Right.
So what I do is I'm not gonna say dumb it down, but I'm like, okay, we're not gonna run plays. I'm just gonna teach you how to move within the offense. See, nowadays Roy got to understand it's not like that where you have two bigs like we try to do even on the youth level. We try to have two bigs, 3 wings. It's not like that. Now you got to have 4 wings and a big that's maybe 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", like a Draymond that's interchangeable. Your four got to actually be a 3, more of a 3-4, like a Mellow, somebody like that can step out. A person like that, a hybrid forward. As people call them nowadays, like a Bam out of Bayou. It got to be somebody like that.
And I call them the flank, flanking anchors. So you got to be able to anchor the post defense and flank out to that corner. You have at this age, you have to be able to do it because, like you said, there's 4 wings now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like 2 or 3 wings. You know what I'm saying? Where you can depend on your guards to take care of that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you're the big on that weak side and that pass gets over there to that corner, you're the only guy. You got to be able to do that. Do it quick, do it efficiently, and get back.
Right.
So I never think about that stuff as it's happening while I'm doing it, while I'm seeing it. But when I get to talking to somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about, that's the type of shit that gets, you know what I'm saying, that gets clarified and shit.
Well, that's
I
the
don't have
beauty
my
of,
outline up either, so you know.
I got you. But that's the beauty of coaching at this level is that we're able to teach and really show kids like why you're doing things.
Mhm.
You know, this is the speed at which you need to do things, and that's why I love coaching this age group. I'm not in any rush to. I can coach, like I said, I can coach high school full time and all that, but I'm just not in a rush to get to that. I'm not in a rush
Right.
to get to that level. So, but I would compare, you know, I would compare the motion offense to probably print journalism. It works. It can work. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, people don't want that anymore.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out to guys like you and Cam and Carnage for keeping print journalism alive. But you're right. Folks don't want it. It's too
No,
easily
right,
accessible now to get it off the, clickbait and stuff
right,
like that.
right.
So
That's what people want. So it's like even we hate to say it, but it's like that's what kids when they come into college, like they're looking to play fast. They're looking for certain offense. They're looking to be showcased. It's
mhm,
more individualized, more so than because you don't have kids that grow up like we were. Like I want to go to Duke. I want to go to North Carolina.
right.
No, these kids, I want to go to the league. I might not even
Mhm,
go to college. I might go to the G League. So if I'm that nice, I ain't even thinking about college. Or I'm gonna go to an LSU like Cam Thomas where I can get showcased. You got Jaden Epps from Norfolk who committed to
mhm,
Providence. You know,
mhm.
everybody, and I heard it a lot. I don't give people information, but I'm hearing from both sides. I get a chance to talk to the parents, so I hear what they're thinking. And then, but from the streets, you hear, oh, he's going to Florida. He's going to this big school. I'm like, that tells me you don't really know his parents. You don't know that
Right.
kid. These
Right.
kids nowadays are not looking to sit the bench for 2 years and oh, I'm gonna start as a junior. If they feel like they can play, they're gonna they're going to go to the school where that's going to showcase them. So you
Mhm.
see a Cam Thomas, yeah, Cam could have went to a North Carolina if he wanted to and
He wanted to.
set the bench for 2 years, whatever. When the LSU got a chance to get showcased, league, he's going to the league. If
He's
not this
definitely
year,
going to
next
the
year.
league.
If not this year, then next year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So again, I think Hubert run me over with the press conference. We had a kid that left Walker Kessler. Nice. They call
Uh-huh.
him Unicorn. Plays like Porzingis. He's
Okay.
like 7 foot, white kid.
Okay.
White kid. He ain't the Luca Garza type. Like he's mobile. He's a little bit more mobile. So
Mhm.
that's why he's able to fit in a school like Carolina rather than have to go Iowa
Right.
where they slow it down. But he transferred. But Hubert Davis want him back. So that was another. Like I said, I'm in the UNC message boards and all that. So that's like a big thing. Like, do they want him back? Because they say he might go to Gonzaga. Yeah, I'm telling you now. You put that guy at
Is
Gonzaga.
he just in the portal?
Yeah, he's in there.
Okay.
So, but now you can be eligible the next year. So
Right.
he'll be able to
Right.
play next year. And that's something. Don't nobody want to see that boy at Gonzaga. I'm telling you now. I'm
Not
telling
in the
he
WAC,
fits
they don't.
what they unless you got something to match up with that. They got him. His kid Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren's #1 prospect in the country. By most services.
Okay.
He's down to Gonzaga or the G League.
Okay.
That's crazy. Like you would never years ago, you would never say that like G League or Gonzaga. So
Right. Right.
um but before we wrap up this UNC topic, I think and something that was discussed. UNC had a very good football season. Very good football season. Shout out to Matt Brown. Mac is back. Got
Mm-hmm.
Dre Bly 757
Yes,
on the coaching
sir.
staff. A lot of 757 flavor. A lot of kids. They got Tony Grimes, DB, Princess
Right.
Xavier. They got a lot of 757 flavor there. But this is my thinking. With the changing of the guard with UNC basketball, the Hubert Davis, is Carolina becoming a football school?
Ooh. Wow. I don't know if that says more about the football program or more about Hubert Davis, but that's a good question. Wow. Ooh.
Because they're kind of at the point now where it could go either way. Because the football team is getting, they went what 10-2, then they went like 9-3 a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of pieces coming back next year, so they expect to go. They expect to go. Probably compete with Clemson, maybe
I,
national title.
I think two things either have to happen or should have already happened.
Mm-hmm.
The first, they've got to be as good or better than Clemson by the time Florida State reemerges.
You think Florida? You think they coming? Then
Yeah, Florida State's definitely coming back. Florida State's, it might be 3 years from now. It might be 4 years from now. But, that type of program, they take years off, but they don't never fall all the way off. You know what I'm saying? For a while, Notre Dame fell off, but they're back. Texas, they'll be back. Who else? Miami on the way back. Florida State will be back, but that's North Carolina's window. For them to be considered a football school, they really got to keep Florida State on the outside looking in with that two-way race in the ACC. Also, it would have helped a lot if Mitchell Trubisky was good.
In the NFL.
Yeah, if his game had translated to the NFL, that would have said a lot about the coaching staff, about the program, about the recruiting. I want to say it's still time, but that boy can't play.
The only reason I disagree with that is because they have a totally new coaching staff.
Okay.
All right. Mitch was under the old coaching staff. And I'm telling you, man, it was a lot of people saying that Mitch could play coming out of college. I'm telling you, a lot of people from Carolina. I ain't gonna say nobody's names, but I'm telling you, it was quite a few people that was saying he could play. So, I mean, he's a bust at this point.
I had the hugest respect for Mel Kiper Jr. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. But that's kind of faded now because as I get older, I see things, and my problem is I point too many things out. I shouldn't be saying this. This is gonna get us banned again from Facebook. But, like. I've noticed, and it should have been clear as day to me, they railroad these black quarterbacks to uplift the white ones.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way Mitch should have went over Deshaun. I was in the hospital sick as a dog. I watched Deshaun will his way over Alabama. I watched it. Mitch ain't got that in his you know what I mean, his service jacket. He don't got that on his resume.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now they're doing it with Justin Fields. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying?
But who is the Mitch Trubisky that they're propping up this year?
I think it's Kyle Trask, but I'm not sure.
No, it's not.
Who is it?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. They talk about Mac Jones top 3 pick.
Listen, and I tweeted this after the first game. And I tweeted this after the first game. Shout out Coach Purr. Shout out my guy Mike Priya. He can tell you. I was like, yo. I see something in Mac Jones, and this was before Mac Jones. Anybody was talking about Mac Jones top anything pick. I say, yo, I don't know what it is, but he just got something. I see something, but I don't see top 3. I see Andy Dalton. That's what I see. That's what I see that's his ceiling to me. That's his ceiling. He's not.
His ceiling is the red rifle.
That's his, and I'm talking about Cincinnati when he was throwing 4,000 yards.
That's a lot. That's a huge compliment. The people at Alabama should salute you for that.
Listen, this is my thing. If he goes to a situation like a San Francisco, he's under a good coach, offensive coordinator, good weapons, George Kittle, running game, play action, he can succeed. If he goes to a bad situation that has no talent, he's going to look bad. But this is what Andy Dalton did. Andy Dalton out of TCU. He got drafted high, but he went into a good situation with Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis, AJ Green.
Right. Shout out to Marvin Lewis.
Great situation there. Marvin Lewis needs to get a fuck lot more credit than he gets.
Facts.
Look at Cincinnati ass now since he left. Yeah, your ass appreciate them fucking 8 and 8 days.
Exactly. No, but he was winning the division. He was winning the hardest.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that his floor is like the ceiling that they want now. And that's the same thing we talk about with Justin Fields. Like going back to that, Mitchell Trubisky and Deshaun and Justin Fields and Mac Jones. They try to push Justin Fields' floor all the way down and raise Mac Jones up. We know that Justin Fields' ceiling is way higher than anything Mac Jones could ever touch.
Thanks.
We already know this. The talent level, right? We already know this.
Thanks.
One thing I didn't even know Mac Jones had a DUI. Now, maybe I've been asleep at the wheel. I didn't even know he had.
Pun intended,
right? Yeah, he caught it. All right, but yeah, I didn't even know. I never heard it.
Did he have 2?
I heard one was questionable, or I don't know. See, and like I'm saying, I'm just found out about this.
Right.
But I've heard Justin Fields is lazy from this unnamed source that they had to walk back. Did they eventually walk back that quote the next day? I was just no, man. Once it's out there, it's out there.
Exactly, and it serves its purpose, and it's already served its purpose because me and you were talking about Mac fucking Jones in the draft.
And the crazy thing is, I love Mac Jones, but Mac Jones, I would slot Mac Jones 15th to the Patriots, 20th. I would slot him mid first round, early second round.
Nobody's first year starter. Am I
No,
wrong?
no, no, no. Not on the now. If he goes to a situation again, like Ben went to with Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of talent, great coaching. Then
Mm-hmm.
that's because he's a smart QB. He has the tool. He can make the throw. He can make the throws, but he's not. He doesn't have superb arm talent, but he can make the throw. He's not going to lose the game for you. He's not one of those. He's going to be. And I said this on Twitter the other day. I said in a few years they propped him up so much to call him a serviceable backup in a couple years. That's all he's going to be. He's going to be like Chase Daniels in a couple years. That's all he's going to be.
So here's my question. A very, 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 very wise analyst told me once, because quarterback picking is the most unproven science of all time. And that's sports. That's it. Picking a quarterback will drive you bananas. But a very, very, very intelligent analyst told me once, he makes his decision about quarterback when he sees them under duress. When did you see Mac Jones under duress?
That's a great question. That's a great
question. That
question.
offensive line, with that running game, with those wide receivers, that defense putting him in great position at all times. When did you see him under duress?
Now, here's the counter argument to what you're saying, right? No, I agree with
you. By
the
way, that smart analyst was you.
I didn't realize that. That's crazy. But now I'm about to argument against myself.
You said about high school quarterbacks, but it stuck to
me. Okay, so I did say this about Mac Jones, but I did say it's about high school. You're right. I did say that because I was talking about Indian River quarterback. That was talking about 707. You're right. I absolutely did say that. Now, in terms of Mac Jones, though, right? Now that we know what he looks like with great offensive talent or offensive line play, how about we make sure that he has great offensive line play in the NFL? Because we know what he look. We know that if he does have great offensive line play, then he'll look good. We know that, right? So why don't we ensure? Same thing with Joe Burrow. Like, I think Joe Burrow, we saw what he looks like with a lot of talent around him. He's going to make all the throws. He's going to look good as a motherfucker with a lot of talent around him. So with Cincinnati, hopefully they put a lot of talent around him because he looked good before he got hurt. He looked good. I mean,
Joe Burrow?
Looked really good. Yes. Yeah. Love Joe Burrow. Love him. I did. He won me over at LSU though. I wasn't a fan at first, but
it was a Florida game for me.
Yeah,
it was a Florida game for me. I couldn't. I just couldn't hate no more. Sometimes I just hate. Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I want. As I'm kind of a writer, but this is what happens in sports a lot. When you're a writer and you write about someone when they're young, you kind of have like a tie with that player, and you want to seem smart. You want to seem so. Run with whatever you're writing about for years. You know what I'm saying? So for whatever reason, I had a few quarterbacks higher than Joe Burrow. So to keep that running, to make myself look like I was more, I didn't give Joe Burrow his proper credit. But that Florida game, you got it, bro. Yeah. You got it. You're that guy. I'll see you in Cincy. You know what I'm saying? So what next we got? Because
I did want to say one thing about that. What I do the same thing with my players too. I don't, like I tell them, when we play in the field house, that's just practice for us. Like I don't judge y'all off that. It's like me judging y'all off practice. You know what I'm saying? Like because we're working on things. You're not playing against top competition. But when we go play on the road, we go play in these big tournaments. That's when I'm able to see, okay, who can play under pressure. You know, because people are as practice players. Like I said, there's like Alabama versus Louisiana Tech. Like, or you're going to look great against them, but what are you going to do against a Clemson, Ohio State? What do you do against your peers? Same way with quarterbacks. That's why I was never a fan of Dwayne Haskins. Like everybody's like, he got 50 touchdowns, okay, but how does he look under pressure? How does he look against the same level? Like Justin Fields, like we saw what he looked like against Clemson. So whatever you want to do to knock him down. I got into an argument this on Instagram. The guy was like, he just had one good game. I said, yeah, whatever. But if you would have had that bad game, what would you have said? You would have knocked them down. But you don't give them credit for having a great game. Man, people are bullshit. But moving on. So just to wrap up that topic, I think UNC over the next couple of years, man, it's it's gonna be key. Whatever Hubert Davis, whether they just go football or basketball. So going to March Madness.
Woo! Woo!
Man, public
Woo!
versus private school. Public versus private school.
This nigga called Gonzaga the TCIS of the VHSL. I've never heard nothing like that before in my life, and I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm not disagreeing. I went to North Academy for 3 years, and we used to run through the TCIS, but every year we'd have one game against the Downtown Eagles. And that was kind of like our humbling game, because sometimes we would win it, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it not, but that game always humbled, you know what I'm saying? The Norfolk Academy Bulldogs, like what you do against fucking Nansman Suffolk and what you do against the Downtown Eagles is two totally different things, brother. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what Gonzaga Baylor looked like. Looked like Norfolk Academy against the Downtown Eagles, bro. That's exactly what it looked like.
And the thing was, I don't even think, like, normally when you have these black versus white matchups, just to be real, it's more of a like, are the white kids gonna be scared of the black kids? Because naturally black kids, we just have that aggression, that edge to it. So we know the black kid ain't like, it's not gonna be nothing to them. Like more because it's like where we come from, like we just come from tough environments. So it's like this is like a break to us. Like we look at it, this is now. It's just my kids do the same thing. They look at, oh, we playing these white kids, so it's gonna be easy matchup for us. But if you have white kids that, first of all, if they're not scared, that's half of the victory. But they actually got to be able to match up with the black team. Because the black team, they're gonna play fast. They're gonna spread you out. That's what Baylor did. Baylor, man, every time they had Timmy on the goddamn, what, man, eyes got big as hell.
Facts. Eyes got big as hell. I don't know if that's frowned upon these days, but it's like the new the Justice League movie. I don't know if you follow superhero movies or not, but these creatures that was in the movie, like, they feed on fear. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm coaching, I smell it too. We're gonna feed on it. We're gonna feast on it.
Even from the other coach, like, you can even tell the other coach if he's sitting down or if he ain't amped. Like me, I'm amped up. Like, we got a game tonight, and I'm amped. Like, I put in a group chat, like, let's go, it's game day. Like, I'm ready. Like Chris can tell you, like, when I be on the side, I coach. I don't care if I'm coaching 9-year-old, middle school. Like, I coach. So you can. My players, they feed off that. Like, you're not. You might beat us once. You're not going to beat us the same method the second time. You're definitely not going to beat us again after that. It's just not going to happen. So like, you can sense it. And Baylor took Gonzaga's heart from the
jump.
They took his heart, and that was it.
Gosh. I was telling my dog this morning, it reminded me of that Super Bowl when Denver played Seattle. And of course, Denver was the favorite, but Seattle came out there that first offensive possession and defensive possession and just punched Denver in the mouth. And it was over after that. The whole Super Bowl was over.
That's when Cam got Tom.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Oh my gosh. Thinking about that right now just makes my blood race, boy. Woo! But after that, it was X's and O's after that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because the Broncos, their heart wasn't in it no more. You know what I'm saying? Winning the Super Bowl wasn't that important no more. Getting hit by that guy. You can keep the Super Bowl. It's not that important to me. And that's kind of what I saw with Baylor. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially after halftime, because at halftime, coaches make adjustments. Players get talked to. You know what I'm saying? You see things different, but it was the same. It was more of the same, actually. You know what I'm saying? When it came out at the half, Baylor was just as aggressive, if not more. Gonzaga was just as timid, And they had a couple times where I saw, because Baylor's defense is great. Don't get me wrong. And I said during the game, they were putting on a clinic when it came to trapping, switching, and rotating. That's everything to me. If you've ever been to one of the games that I coached, that's everything. Trapping, switching, rotating, that's everything. And they were putting on a clinic. But 80% of that is athleticism and heart. You know what I'm saying? And Gonzaga exposed some holes in the trap a couple of times, but their heart wasn't there. The shot they weren't comfortable shooting, and they weren't taking it to the rim. Like, it was a couple times where they had wide open lanes, because when you're doing a lot of switching, when you're doing a lot of rotating, if the ball keeps moving, eventually it's going to get to somebody who's wide open. And when that happened with Gonzaga, they weren't attacking the basket and they were taking uncomfortable jump shots. They weren't confident jump shots. And after that, it's over. No matter what you do. They could have put the 7 through 12 guy in the game. Baylor could have, and still won.
Do you feel like this was an upset?
No.
Yeah, me either. No.
Unfortunately, it's on Baylor, but not Baylor, it's on Gonzaga, but it doesn't have to be, because they choose to play in the WAC every year.
I mean, but really, realistically, to go to a major conference, you got to have a good football program. Football drives revenue. That's what, and I said that last. I said that.
I'm not blaming Gonzaga. I'm not blaming Gonzaga.
And Gonzaga plays a great schedule. They play UVA. They played a great schedule. They played UVA, I think Syracuse. They played a lot of good teams. If you match up Gonzaga's non-conference schedule with y'all's on the other fucking hand, we don't play nobody, especially on the road.
This year.
Yeah, exactly. Every year. Match it up with y'all's and ours too. I think ours was trash this year too. But Gonzaga played a great non-conference schedule. So
because they have to. Because they didn't play Clemson, Wade, NC State this week.
Right. Gonzaga's a good team. I think we saw the best two teams in college basketball Monday night.
Now that's a bold statement.
I think so.
I'm not going to debate it. I'm not going to debate it, because Gonzaga did prove to me a couple times when I thought that they would lose. I did, see them play well. I did see them close out games well. So I'm not gonna say that.
They would have smacked Michigan. Your team. They would have smacked Michigan. And you talk about who his team used to playing, right?
They barely beat UCLA, man.
Who did Michigan play?
Yeah, right. You're right.
All right.
You're right.
Because the Big Ten was like worse than the WAC. Okay, that's okay. UCLA, that's the Final Four. That's in the Final Four, though. That's not like round of 32.
When did they beat Michigan?
Who?
Did UCLA beat Michigan?
Yes.
They beat them at what, 16?
32? Yeah, it might have been 32-16. One of them. Might have been 16. No, it had to be 16. They beat what? Michigan State? Yeah, they probably been 16.
They might have beat Michigan. I don't know if they would smack them.
Yeah.
They might have beat Michigan. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't smack them. It depends what Michigan. It depends what version of Michigan. See, Michigan, we're talking about Michigan. Like I said, that's the team that ain't been challenged. So we don't know what they would have did. Right. Gonzaga go up. Now, what athlete does Michigan have to match up with a Jalen Suggs once Jalen Suggs get to running?
Well, here's the thing about having athletic matchups in college. Mm-hmm. And I'm about to contradict myself by saying this, but this is how I feel. There are anomalies in certain situations, but college, the thing about college ball that's different from in the league and high school either is it's so one and done driven that the real best player on any team is the coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't really get a chance to develop these players the way you want. You know what I'm saying? So I can't see a player on Michigan's roster that can match up with Jalen Suggs. But as I say that, the matchup comes from the coach. You know what I'm saying? If the coach can draw up something to neutralize that matchup, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a different type of double team, whether it's a different type of trap, whether, if you can draw up something to neutralize that, I think that's more on the coach, because they didn't have a guy.
That's true. And now we are talking about two high quality coaches. You talking about Mark Few and Juwan Howard. So
right.
You're right about it. You're absolutely right about that. So do you think, because we talked on our agenda was Gonzaga being one of the best all-time college teams, at least my thinking.
This year, undefeated. I got a bubble theory too. I don't really take nothing in a bubble to mean what it. And when I say bubble, fans. I mean the whole COVID experience. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
Right. There's no fans. The schedule is a little different. You don't play some games get canceled. Then you got it's a lot that goes into this whole COVID thing. So to put them up with the great teams, as a diehard Laker fan, I wouldn't put the Lakers bubble team in any top tier. You know
I don't think they win in a lot of other years. I don't think the Lakers win. I think the Lakers were a weak champ, but we'll go back.
We'll get to that. We got weeks and months. We got plenty of time to get to that. But that's kind of the way I'm seeing Gonzaga, and that might not be fair to them because those boys came out and played every week. Every time they was on the court, they played against who they were put against. It's not their fault who they played against. You know what I'm saying? But they went out there and played every year. So what are we saying? Top 5, top 10, top 15?
All right. This is my thing. Are they better than that Duke team from 2001 with
No,
Jake
hell
Williams?
no.
All right.
Hell no.
So they're not better than them, right?
That's the Jason Williams team.
Jason Williams,
This
Shane
that
Battier. Is that Shane Battier?
the
Jason
top
Williams,
8 went to the league. They
so
had
that,
like 8 starters in the league.
all right, so that's one team I think better than them. I think
Okay.
our '09 team that won the shit with Hansborough, we were stacked to beat every shit out of
The Psycho
everybody.
T team. I'll give
I
you
think
that.
we're better than them. Shit, even Duke,
Bro,
Grant
there's a
Hill,
lot of
that Grant Hill, Christian Leitner team. I
the
don't think they would
92
have beat
team is
them.
my number 1 team.
I don't think
92
they would have
Duke
beat
is my
them.
number 1.
Yeah, I don't think. I definitely don't think they would have beat them. There's a lot of you know what? Now that I think about it, it's a lot.
Bruh.
There's even teams that didn't win the championship. I'll probably put before Gonzaga. Like,
You know who I put Gonzaga with?
mm-hmm.
They are with the Wisconsin team that beat Kentucky.
Sam Decker team.
Sam Duncan team. Sam Decker. Where the hell is Sam Decker?
Sam Decker stole money from Houston.
Stole money. But the,
Man, he
but
was
the,
like a top 10 pick.
NCAA tournament will allow you to do that.
And that's one thing, you know, when people say kids going to college, you know what, I do kind of agree with that because I think certain kids like it does.
Certain ones.
It does.
I love it. I love this young man to death. I hate that I have to say this, but the NCAA tournament allowed Justice Winslow to steal money from the Miami Heat for several years.
You're right. That was that weak championship team.
Right.
Talking about.
Right.
But Justice Winslow did have a good season. He had a good season.
Wasn't that team wasn't necessarily weak, but we got lucky. Wisconsin did the dirty work for us. Mm-hmm. Kentucky would have ran us out the gym.
That was smack, yeah.
When Kentucky would have ran us out the gym. Sam Decker and Big Frank did the job for us. And then we took care of them.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. So, yeah, now that I think about it, I'll put a lot of teams ahead of them.
They remind me of that Villanova team that won. You know
or our UNC team 93. The UNC team 93 with George.
The Montrose team?
That team. Teams
okay.
like that. Like not necessarily.
Was that Sheet and Stack?
No, that was 95. They didn't win. They got put out by like Boston College.
Who was on that team with Montrose?
Donald Williams. Shit, that's all I can think of. George Lynch.
George Lynch. That's what I'm missing. George Lynch. I like that. Some UNC players I got a lot of respect for.
King Rice. That team was a lot of like future coaches on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
I gotta find a ladder real quick. Give me 13 seconds, Hawk. So don't look like I'm gonna find one.
It's all good. Yeah. So while you looking, we'll put Gonzaga maybe 15th, 20th.
I got that team, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from them because, like I said, they played everybody you put in front of them. That's not their fault that you didn't put nobody in front of them. But they had a different non-conference schedule, somewhere between 14 and 21. Mm-hmm. Will they go down in the book? Like, see, that's the thing. Winning depicts history. Mm-hmm. So, are we going to remember this team? How good this team was in 20 years?
I feel like this with the media. I feel like they're giving less credit to Baylor for the win, and they're putting more of it as Gonzaga failed. And I think that's going to ultimately knock down Baylor, and kind of, just me personally, I feel like people going to remember it more as Gonzaga failed to go undefeated.
So let me put it like this. Cat's in the league, he's an all-star. Mm-hmm. Book's in the league, he's an all-star. Trill Cauley-Stein's in the league. He's not an all-star, but he's in the league. I don't even know where he's at right now. But what else do we remember from that Kentucky team?
Shit, I mean, what else do you need to remember?
That they went and the only thing I remember is that they went undefeated. Now, the players that went to the league and made something of themselves, great.
Who won a championship that year?
Wisconsin. No, Duke.
Oh, yeah, did. Y'all won that year? No, y'all did.
When Kentucky went undefeated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, y'all did.
Wisconsin beat Kentucky and we beat Wisconsin. Yeah.
Well, how many people you think remember that over the fact that Kentucky had Cat and all them guys?
My thing is, Hawk, I don't remember the other guys now.
Right.
I remember Cat because he's productive. I remember Book because he's productive. I don't remember either of those twins' names.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah,
whoever played the three,
yep,
the Harrison twins. And whoever played the three, I don't remember, was that one MK? No, definitely one MKG. Who was they three?
He was a shooter. I cannot think his name.
Well, exactly. But that's my point. But I do know who Thomas Hill is. I do know who Antonio Lang is. I do know who Brian Davis is.
Because you're a Duke fan. An average person doesn't know these guys.
They're champions.
You're a Duke fan, bro. That's like me saying, yeah, I know. That's like me saying, yeah, I know Brad Salvador. Yeah, because I'm a Duke fan. I should know those guys. Come on, bro. I know. I just think you just got more household names on Gonzaga than Baylor. I mean, other than with Davian Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell's brother.
Right.
He's a dog. Shit, he's a dog. But I just feel like it's gonna be more like Gonzaga lost rather than Baylor, who was a good team, who had one loss coming into the tournament. You know what I'm saying? They went. They was undefeated too.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
pretty much.
That's the thing. So before we move on, Jalen
shot.
Yeah, what is that rank for you?
Because it was a Final Four shot, I'm giving it a lot of high praise because it was a Final Four shot. So I'm gonna say third. Okay. It could be second. Right now, I'm gonna say third. Second, I hate to say this, Psycho T against Virginia Tech. And that might not be a big shot.
I remember that.
To the rest of the world. But to me, I'm not just a Duke fan. And I take this to the grave. I'm a big time UNC hater. Big time. Like I don't play with it. I'm not new to this. I'm true to it.
UNC.
I'm a big time UNC hater. And I thought like that year, y'all were good. We were okay. By Duke standards, we were horrible. Greg Paulus was our point guard. And what's my man's name? Fuck.
Was it Nolan Smith?
Not Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith was great. Nolan Smith was great for us. White boy. I can't think of my man's name, but he was our version of Psycho T. And he never dropped his nuts.
Yeah.
Who was it? He went to the league. He was productive. He played for us, matter of fact. Played for the Lakers, matter of fact.
Zubiak.
Not Zubiak. What the fuck is his name? Kyle. I can't think of his name, but he was not Ryan Kelly. I'm thinking of Ryan Kelly, but not Ryan Kelly. The nigga that was before Ryan Kelly. Anyway, that UNC team was not as good as advertised. Virginia Tech had them on the ropes. They let Psycho T make that little dumbass, retarded ass, stupid ass shot. And runs down the court like that. That shit is burned in my memory.
Well, listen, how are we not good at? We had Ty Lawson, Wayne Ellington. We had this. Okay, so coming out of high school, number one point guard, number one shooting guard, number one center, old ass Psycho T, 20 years old. He's still the number one center coming out of high school. Brandon Wright, number one power forward coming out of high school. We had a number three center, Deion Thompson. We had Danny Green, 4-star. Marcus Ginyard, 4-star. How are we not as good as advertised? What do you mean? What is good as advertised? If we're one as good as advertised, what is good as advertised?
Because we could have beat y'all twice.
Y'all could have, but that's rivalry.
We could have beat y'all twice.
But Danny Green, was that the year Danny Green put his nuts on? Y'all couldn't beat us that game.
And I'm not mad. I did again. There are certain UNC players that I got some respect for. Danny Green is one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'll never take that away from him. Shout out to Danny Green. But fuck y'all, man. We could have beat y'all twice. So maybe the Tar Heels were as good as advertised, but Psycho T was not. It showed when he got to the league.
I'll take that. So you said that was number two. What's number one then?
Number one, man.
Christian Laettner.
Greatest Christian Laettner, man. Grant Hill with the greatest assist of all time. You know what I'm saying? That actually, I wanted to tell this story, and I ain't gonna run long. I promise it'll be a quick story. But I was introduced to Duke basketball on that shot. I had a homeboy. I was at Bayview Elementary. I had a homeboy named Sean Oles. He stayed out Young Park, matter of fact. And Sean came to me one day.
I think I know him. Oh,
Dark skin kid.
his son. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
His son played in one of my events. He has a son named Jakar. He played in one of my events.
He's probably good too. Is Jakari good?
He's good, but he's an awful kid, and I'll leave it at that.
That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. But Sean came to me and he said, "Did you watch the game last? It wasn't. It was the night before."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no games on. I'm thinking he talking about the NBA. He was like, "Nah, college. You don't watch Duke?" I was like, "Yeah, I seen some games, but I ain't on it like that." He was like, "Nah, Duke is like that. You need to watch Duke." So the next game was the Kentucky game. I stayed up all night to watch the game. My TV was supposed to have been off. I had the contrast and the color all the way down so my mama couldn't see the light shining. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had the volume all the way down. And when Christian Laettner hit that shot, I jumped out my bed and screamed and hollered. My mama didn't beat me, but she looked at, she came in there and looked at me like I had committed the cardinal sin. You know what I'm saying? And since that day, I have been a diehard Duke fan. Christian Laettner is the greatest college basketball player of all time. You can't tell me no different. That's what it is, man. That's the greatest shot ever, man.
I cannot argue with you, but I will say the way that you felt, that's the same feeling I had when Jalen Suggs made that shot, bro. Like it was late, yes, sir, and it was late, bro. But that game was like, it's crazy because if you really go back and look at like that last couple minutes, he made all of the big plays. He had a block, he had the assist like right before that. Him and Johnny Juzang, you know how you pronounce, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but those like I tweeted this during the game. I said those are next level guys. Like
he
those
made a
two
fan
guys,
out of me.
those two guys are next level guys. Johnny and me, I'm a light skinned hater. I'm a light skinned like I'm a hater on all the light skinned cats that who Klay Thompson. Like I go down the list. I hate all them guys. I hate them respectfully. Well, Mark Jackson say respectfully. I hate those guys. Respect their game, but I hate them because they like. But he made a fan out of me. But yeah, Jalen Suggs, big time shot, man. I shit it, man. I was fucked up. I ain't gonna lie, I was fucked up. Goddamn, jumped on the little thing I got. Like that shit was crazy. That shot was crazy, man. But I told my kids this in practice Monday. I said, no, Tuesday. Was it Monday? No, Monday. It was Monday because the shot was Saturday. So we had practice Monday. I said, but if you look at him shoot, he shot in form. So you know he practiced that a lot.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because it looked like a waste of time for all those years between the age of 12 and 16, where I literally was out. I was lucky. And Little Creek, the basketball court was right behind my house, right behind. I can go in my sister's room, look out her window, and see who's at the court. Is it worth my time coming out there? So that's how I developed, like just having that luxury. I would be outside by myself until people came to the court, just practicing with 3 seconds left. You know what I'm saying? From full court. You know what I'm saying? And just practicing. And that's the key. Whether you got to get a running start or whatever, as long as you're in form, that should be a confident shot. I always talk about my upcoming documentary, Steph Before Steph, you know, because a lot of the things that Steph does aren't that amazing. They aren't that amazing. You know what I'm saying? What Jalen just showed you. He's doing it in college, man. Come on now.
You in the light skin hater crew too. You in the light skin hater crew too.
I love Steph. He's a phenom. But come on, man. A lot of these shots, they're from distance, but you're shooting in form, you're shooting in rhythm. You're supposed to make it. It's a flick of the wrist.
Okay.
It's a flick of the wrist.
Let you have them.
But nah. With that being said, as a shooter, it what really got my adrenaline pumping is I love no timeout plays. You know what I'm saying? Like the know-how. You know what I'm saying? The want to, as soon as they make the layup, as soon as homeboy got the rebound and made the layup, give me the rock. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? We don't got time to think about nothing. Let's go now. You know what I'm saying? You got to know beforehand. You got to know on the defensive play. If that happens, I'm ready. And that takes a lot. So I give him that. There was no timeout. There was no preparation. There was just give me the ball. You know? Cool.
All right. So I guess we'll pause here.
Okay.
For segment two. Segment two, we pick up with NBA news. I forgot to add Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce.
Gotta add my guy Paul Pierce. We got to start with Paul Pierce, actually.
No!
All right, so we'll pick it up. I'm gonna stop now, then I'll send a link probably a couple.
All right.